Hey everyone, it's Jeremy again. I'm here today to do a review of Thor Love and Thunder. Let me start by saying I had really high hopes for this movie, Thor Ragnarok, the last entry in the Thor franchise. I found to be one of the best movies the MCU had ever done. Probably still one of my top three favorites, maybe my favorite overall to rewatch. I thought it was funny. I thought it had emotions. I loved the music. I really enjoyed it. And the director, Taika Waititi, who directed Thor Ragnarok, was back for Thor Love and Thunder. And we had all the same characters back. We were going to see Natalie Portman again. She hadn't been in Thor Ragnarok, but she'd been in the previous two Thor movies. And a lot had come out about how she was actually going to take on the form of Mighty Thor, a comic books character where her character Jane Foster gets to take on the mantle of Thor for a little while too. It was going to be a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun and enjoyable. I loved seeing these characters again. There were a lot of good laugh moments. It was quite funny. But I have to say it was a little bit of a disappointment for me overall because the last movie had been so good. And the Thor movies overall had not been as good until Thor Ragnarok. And now Thor Love and Thunder comes out, and I would say it's closer to the first two Thor movies in its overall quality as a movie. It's very different than those two movies. Those first two Thor movies were a lot more serious, even though they did have some funny moments, but they took themselves a little more seriously. This movie did not take itself particularly seriously, which is okay. Thor Ragnarok also was fairly tongue-in-cheek with a lot of what was going on throughout, but I did think this movie lacked a little bit of the gravitas of the last Thor movies. And Thor had been so good as well in some of the team-up movies recently. He was great in Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. I really, really wanted this to be a movie I absolutely adored. And that's probably why I'm a little disappointed. Not because it wasn't pretty good. It was pretty good. It was still worth seeing, and I'd recommend going to see it, especially if you like these movies. There's no reason not to go see this. It wasn't a bad movie. It just wasn't as amazingly good as the last version of Thor. That's my overall review of it. I don't want to give too much in the way of spoilers away of anything that happens in it. I thought everyone did a pretty good job of reprising their roles as characters. I just thought the tone was a little off. I thought Christian Bale was fantastic in this movie. I enjoyed him greatly, but it was almost like his character was in a different movie than everybody else. The character almost deserved its own movie because it was really a compelling character. Gore the God Butcher, Thor's major enemy in this movie. And unfortunately, I thought while he was great and Chris Hemsworth was great again as Thor, I thought the overall tone of this movie was sort of all over the place. Sometimes it was funny, sometimes it was dark, sometimes it was creepy, and I didn't quite get as much out of it. It didn't have that cohesive tone that Thor Ragnarok, the last Thor movie, did. So Thor Love and Thunder is still recommended by me, but I would say if you are expecting it to be as good as the last Thor movie or one of the better Marvel movies, you might be disappointed the way I am a little bit by it. But I'll still probably see it again multiple times because it's fun watching these characters, and I'm kind of in on the Marvel Universe anyway. That's my review. I hope you enjoyed it, got something out of it. Let me know what you think. And if you'd like to talk more movies with me or shoot me an email, feel free to do that. My number is 941-951-0443, and my email is jeremy@wealthenjoyment.com.